Welcome everybody to another week of the GSBN GameLobby Breakdown. I'm your host Jason Wilson.
And I am Marcus Johnson. I hope you all enjoyed our first show. We are back to provide you a breakdown of all things GameLobby football.
That's right, Marcus. I have been reading the emails regarding our show, and from what I have read, people seem to enjoy our show. So let's jump right into it.
So many things have happened in Week 8. Let us start with the last undefeated team losing to a divisional rival. The Denver Broncos suffered their first loss at the hands of the Oakland Raiders. It was a close game that was won thanks to a 45-yard field goal from Sebastian Janikowski. The final score was 24-21, Oakland.
Despite Eli Manning tossing 3 interceptions, the Raiders came away with the victory. If you look at the stats, this game should have been won by Denver. Quarterback Kyle Orton had 3 touchdowns for just over 200 yards, and running back Knowshon Moreno had 117 yards on the day with 18 attempts. Clearly this game was Denver's to lose, and they ended up giving it away.
You were right about that, Jason. Denver had this game in every way, but just could not close the deal. However, I don't think this will have much effect on them. They do still sit atop the AFC tied with the best record with the Patriots.
Speaking of the Patriots, they have been on a 6-game winning streak since losing their first game of the season. Rookie running back Brandon Booth is continuing to show the NFL that he is the real deal and not just a one-trick pony.
This kid is just insane. He has rushed for over 100 yards on his first 6 starts this season. This week was no exception, as Booth ran for 237 yards on 25 attempts and hit the end zone twice for 2 touchdowns. His performance led the Patriots to a 40-24 victory over the hapless 0-7 Dolphins this week. He is racking up crazy totals week after week.
And Marcus, with this career game from the rookie, Booth has taken over the #1 running back spot from Adrian Peterson. He is averaging just over 10 yards a carry and has 13 touchdowns already this season. Owner Silverwing has found a diamond in the rough in the draft and has a player you can build a team around.
Speaking of building a team, Jason, Kamish Philly has found a Buffalo Bills owner. This team has been one of the worst in the league this year, so taking on the job in Buffalo is clearly left to a brave soul. And this brave man's name is Merc Juice. He comes into this league looking to turn the Bills' fortunes around. He has a long road ahead of him to get this team out of the basement, Jason.
He certainly does, Marcus. But he does have some talented pieces to build around. He has a rookie quarterback in Chris Robinson, who is struggling this year, but could perhaps turn things around with new leadership. They also have young C.J. Spiller in the backfield, and the always dangerous Lee Evans lining up at receiver. There are also some talented players on the defense as well, so look for Mark Juice to turn things around in Buffalo.
We will certainly keep our eye on the Bills to finish the season. Now, let's turn our attention to the power rankings. My league manager has these teams in the top 5 this week: the Rams, Lions, Falcons, Broncos, and Giants. Is this sitting well with you, Jason?
Well, Marcus, things look a little bit different in my top 5. I've got the Rams, Patriots, Lions, Falcons, and Broncos. The Rams have to get top billing from me. Team owner Devo has turned this team into a defensive powerhouse. It is damn near impossible to score on this squad, and the NFC should definitely be on notice that the Rams are clearly the cream of the crop in this conference.
Well, Jason, we aren't that far off this week. My top 5 are the Lions, Patriots, Rams, Falcons, and Giants. The Lions have simply won me over. To go from being such a bad team a year ago to being a nightmare for opposing defensive coordinators is crazy. Pack alone must have added something to the water in Detroit, because those guys are playing with an intensity I've never seen the Lions have before. This is something the Motor City has needed for a long time now, and I can't be any happier for that team and the people in that city who have been starving for a contender for decades. I've got to say, Jason, it's interesting to see how the AFC dominated the rankings last week, only to have the NFC make a strong push this week. I think we have 2 evenly matched conferences this year in the league.
It would certainly appear that way, Marcus. While there may now be balance in the conferences, many teams around the league felt that they could use a little more balance heading into the playoff push. So let's take a look at some trade deadline deals that really make differences for some teams. Marcus, what news do you have coming from the rainy city of Seattle?
Well, Jason, the word is that Earl Thomas is already on his way out of Seattle after 1.5 seasons with the Seahawks. Owner Brady 1212 has shipped him to the Eagles to make an upgrade at running back. Shifty speedster LaShawn McCoy is headed out west to help out the backfield of the Seahawks. Philly clearly wanted to upgrade their free safety position, and gets a very talented young man who can be a staple of the secondary in Philadelphia for years to come.
Sounds like a good move for both sides, Marcus. I like this move for both sides. I had my eyes on a deal struck between the Giants and Bears. The Bears send left tackle Chris Williams to the Giants for a second-round pick in the upcoming draft. The Giants will get some much-needed assistance on the offensive line as they continue their push to the playoffs. Meanwhile, the Bears pick up another pick in the draft and continue to look towards the future. Another good move for both sides, as both get exactly what they want.
Sounds like an interesting deal in the NFC, Jason. Moving on, we now get to a new portion in the show where we will take a look at interesting games coming up in the next week. Jason, I've got to say that clearly the best match of the week will be the Buccaneers and the Saints meeting up in the Superdome. The Saints are coming off a shutout of the 49ers, while the Bucs are trying to recover from being shut out themselves in Jacksonville. With both teams well in reach of the division-leading Falcons, this game is going to be one to watch. The Saints have a championship-caliber team and it is not going to be easy to beat them at home. Tampa Bay, however, has been better this year than expected, and I would look for them to bring all they have to this game. But in the end only one team can win. I think Tampa Bay will pull a win off in this game by a mere 3 points. I'm thinking the final will be 24-21. Look for it to be a tough, smash-mouth game from start to finish, Jason.
I certainly will tune in to see that one, Marcus. But the game I have my eye on is the Lions and the Chiefs meeting up at Ford Field. These two teams have been playing great football this year, especially the Lions. Packlin has found his stride with the Lions and has them in prime position to put a stranglehold on the NFC North Division. Meanwhile, the Chiefs are sitting at 4-3, but still well within grasp of the division lead in the AFC West. The Chargers and Broncos are ahead of them currently, and winning this game against a tough Detroit team would bolster their chances at making the playoffs in the wild card, or even getting back into the division title hunt. Both of these teams will be well rested, coming off of their bye weeks, but I think the Lions will continue their winning ways. I see the Lions winning this one by a score of 31-21.
Another riveting game for sure, Jason. And now, we will come together and debate the winner of another game this week. This week's debate game is the Jets and Broncos meeting at the Meadowlands this week. Now, Jason, let me tell you why I think the Broncos are going to come out on top in this game. The Broncos are looking to bounce back from a very disappointing loss to the Raiders last week. Denver is a very good offensive team and they play great on the road, while the Jets struggle in their own building. I just don't see New York holding them off this week. The Broncos need a win to keep the Chargers off their backs in the AFC West, and they are sure to keep the pressure squarely on their friends in San Diego. I like the Broncos taking this game by a score of 31-10.
Very strong points you make there, Marcus, but I think the Jets will stop their woes at home and give the hometown crowd something to cheer about in this game. The Broncos are coming off of a disappointing loss, then have to turn around and fly all of the way out east to face the Jets. I think the long travel may have an effect on their performance out there. Also, Jets rookie wide receiver Randy McClain is proving to be a real threat anytime he touches the ball out there. He had a kickoff return and a 50-yard touchdown catch in last week's loss to the Titans. I think he will have another big day here, as the Denver secondary will be too busy covering other threats in Santonio Holmes and Tony Gonzalez. The Jets need this win to keep pace with the AFC East leading Patriots, and I see them pulling out the win with a 28-24 victory at home.
We will just have to watch this exciting game and see who predicted correctly this week. That's all of the time we have this week on GameLobby Breakdown, but we aren't done reporting just yet. Tune in shortly as we will soon be debuting our interview with League Commissioner Philly Fenn. We rounded up some great questions from our owners, and now we will be asking him those questions and getting answers on the topics you care about. We are still touching up the final parts of our interview, so stay tuned to GamerLobby.com for this special report. Until next time, for all of us here at GSPN, I'm Marcus Johnson.
And I'm Jason Wilson. Good luck to all owners in Week 9. Good night, Game Lobby Land.